Hello, my friends. My name is Vitor Diaz, and I welcome to this video, to my channel. Today, I want to share with you some thoughts. So, what makes you happy? What really makes you happy? Sometimes, some people may say, "Okay, what makes me happy going to be to own a new house, or that car, or the new job." But really, how many times in your life have you actually achieved what you wanted and what you thought would make you happy? And did that really made you happy? Or was that a more an euphoria? So what, that triggers another question. It's what really is happiness? Um, So perhaps we can understand happiness as a different stage, as of those that would just pass as fast as a certain circumstance is met, or a certain goal is achieved, and perhaps happiness could be a state of. I'm sure that all of you would have felt that that's deeper, that lasts longer, that it's bring meaning to your life, to your actions. So then the question remains: what really makes you happy? One interesting way of seeing it is by understanding that there are actions in our life that would bring this deeper sense of happiness, that that it's not that doesn't pass, at least not as definitely not as fast as a euphoria or as a achieving a circumstantial goal will bring, because it talks deeper to our essence as human beings. So what would be those actions then? What would be those actions that would make us happier inside, deeper, at a deeper level? Um, and thinking about this, one could probably think that since there are actions, there are something on the universe, or there may be something in the universe that talk to those actions. What would that be? If that's true, what would that be? Um, so scientists, psychologists, and even some philosophers may say, okay, so these would be some, so would be called a moral code. So it would be a set of actions that morally would be able to bring that level of happiness. What are those moral codes? And why would that be moral codes out there? Why would that be a set of actions that would talk deep inside? So, what are those actions then? One would think that the only way that we can know what are those actions, the only way that one could know what is this moral code is by studying it deep inside, by studying within you, yourself, your actions, right? Through that experience of acting, investigating how that resonates with you, and then learning over and over again what those moral actions would be, right? So, in other words, it gotta reside within our conscience, within our thinking process, within our feelings. Um, and Now, the interesting piece to me is that okay, so if there is a moral code, if there are actions around it, could we consider that moral code as being first? What would be those actions? What could we call? Perhaps someone could call it virtues. And if there are virtues that talk to this moral code, if there is a moral code, is this moral code permanent? Is it something that doesn't quite change over time? And this is very interesting because maybe that's the case. Maybe that these moral codes will not change over time. But there is one thing that changes though, because when we look at human history and how we have interacted with what we now know and call as virtues, we will see a difference, remarkable differences. So one idea is that these moral codes are constant. They do not change. But our conscience change. And that's totally possible to think of. So if we keep this moral conduct, this moral code, those virtues as a constant set of actions or energy that would put forward to those actions as constant, but as human beings we continue evolving our conscience, then it's very possible that that we will see, for example, let's take one virtue, like let's take love. We'll see a love in action being very different 2,000 years ago than what we see now. That we will understand justice very different than what we understand now. Because our conscience talking to those laws or to that moral code has been evolved. And perhaps that's what will make a significant human being that has passed on earth significant. It's because of that. It's because that person had an understanding of a piece of that moral code that pushed him to a set of actions that resonated forever on this planet. Why forever? Because that moral code never changed. Well, it's a very interesting thought. But then another thought that would link this to a religion is that okay, so how, if there is a moral code, wouldn't that be possible to exist laws that talks to that moral code? How laws? Why laws? Laws is just really a name, right? To express a something more profound, deeper, that is perhaps in a higher level, that is talking to us to act upon it, right? So, for example, why would not be a law of love that would talk to the virtue of love on us, for us to act on it? And here's the link. If this is true, if this would be true, wouldn't that be possible? That our idea of God as being an old man, wise, but who is determining, or who is saying you were wrong and then you go to hell, and you were right, you go to heaven, and that's going to be forever. It's actually a more it's actually a representation of something that actually talks deeper, that has a more profound meaning. Wouldn't that set of law, or couldn't that set of law be established by God? Wouldn't that be also part of God? And by acting on it, by developing these virtues, we could perhaps be closer to this, to God. In a sense, it's not totally different than a wise old man, but it's not as human or humanized, that idea, as we once understood. And perhaps that understanding is just part of the same way as we saw love, for example, in the past, part of our evolution. Well, my friends, I hope you leave your comments and leave your thoughts. What do you think about this reflection, and does that make sense for you? If not, feel free to let me know as well, and share with me your thoughts, and perhaps we could continue this conversation. Well, have a great week. See you later. Bye.